Welcome. For today's practice, we'll be going back to basics again. The holiday season is often filled with busyness, lots of things to do, excitement, energy in the air, and we can easily find ourselves getting swept away by the next thing we have to accomplish or the one thing on our to-do list that we need to get to. And our minds can often be pulled on autopilot when we perceive our world as being very busy. And so, one of the foundations of mindfulness practices is to really be able to step out of that busy story and into the present moment. Because if we perceive our life as one big chain of events and things to accomplish and places to be and things to do, we can lose sight of the life that we're actually living. And so, for our practice today, we'll be exploring what it's like to be in the present moment, even when things are getting a little bit busy. So, what that might look like would be if we're having a busy day at work and we know afterwards we have to go to the store to pick up a few things. And then after that, we have friends coming over that we haven't seen for a while. Our minds can often just get pulled along down the line into the next thing that's happening. And while we're in the grocery store picking up things that we need, we're often lost in thought about the next thing that's coming up. And so we lose touch with the environment that's actually around us. And so this practice of mindfulness, invites us to slow down just a little bit, even if, our day might be a little bit busy and we might have a lot to accomplish. If we find ourselves stuck in the story of being busy, we're not present. And even when we're busy, there's a lot of life to live in between. And so today we'll be practicing being present. And this practice today is just one invitation to take a few minutes out and, feel into the present moment. So I'd like to invite you to go ahead and get settled. And if you're listening to this practice as you're going about your day, that's okay too. We can be present even when we're physically moving, even when we're accomplishing tasks. So we'll explore that a little bit in our practice. So getting settled might mean sitting down and coming to rest. It might mean taking a breath and feeling into your body as it's moving. And so I'd just like to invite you to bring your attention to the body in whatever position it's in, whatever emotion it's in. You can notice the position of the body, the torso, the head, the arms and the legs, and noticing the contact points of the body with the environment. So the feet on the floor, or the sit bones resting in the chair, the arms resting in the lap. And the hands, whatever they're doing or not doing, just noticing the hands. And we spend so much time using our hands. And there's a lot of input here for our nervous system. the map of the somatosensory cortex, the hands take up a large part of it. So just noticing whatever's going on with the hands right now. If they're resting in the lap, or holding on to something, touching each other. Just noticing the contact points of the hands with whatever's around them. Noticing the sensation of heat, moisture, dryness, coolness, pressure. And just taking a moment to notice each finger, starting with the left hand, moving from the thumb to the pinky finger. And continuing on to the right hand, pinky finger to thumb. And now just introducing a little bit of movement to the hands. You might choose to wiggle the fingers or flex them, moving the wrists slowly. And allowing them to come to rest again. And continuing the movement of our attention from the hands up the arms. Again, noticing any contact points of the arms. The sensation perhaps of the clothing on the skin or the air. Noting the position of the elbows. Often the elbows are in motion, working with the hands. So now just introducing a little bit of motion to the elbows. Noticing what it's like to move the forearms and the hands with the elbows. We're often unaware of this part of our body as we're moving throughout the day. So just reminding our nervous system that the arms, the forearms, are a part of our experience. And just like the hands. And moving to the upper arms. Again, constantly moving throughout the day. And just noticing what's available here. And the shoulders. Again, just introducing a little bit of movement to the forearms, perhaps even picturing the arms like they're skeletal parts and the joints moving. You might even notice how the shoulder blades shift as the shoulders move. We often don't think about our shoulder blades sitting like wings on the back of the rib cage. And so, even as we're going about our day, we use our arms constantly in constant motion, but we're often just simply unaware of them. And we forget that they're there, even as we're using them. And so, this bringing our attention to the arms really is one small way we can invite our attention to what's actually happening in the present moment. And even at rest, just feeling the arms again as a whole, noticing their position, becoming aware of the hands again. And even noticing how the arms might shift as the breath is moving in and out. After all, the arms are just one part of our experience, influenced by everything that's going on around them. You might picture the rib cage as the breath is moving, expanding, and contracting. And that relationship with the shoulder blades, and the shoulder joints, and the upper arms. And for a moment, picturing the wings of a bird and how they're similar to our own arms. Imagining a little bird sitting and breathing quickly, its respiratory rate fast compared to ours, but that whole body shifting with each breath. And so, just like a bird uses its wings to fly, we too use our arms constantly throughout the day to carry out various tasks. And as we do so, we're often caught in thought, thoughts happening all the time in our head. But also the arms resting here in this moment, or accomplishing whatever task is being played out. And so, as we end this brief practice, just taking a few deeper breaths in and out. Again, appreciating that relationship of the breath with the movement of the rib cage and the arms. And allowing the breath to return to its normal rhythm and bringing awareness to the arms, to the hands. And opening up further to the entire body, the torso and the legs, the feet. And becoming aware of the room around us. And the other things in the room, the contact points of the body, the chair, the floor, and the other things in the room. And gently opening the eyes if they've been closed and taking in the colors and light around us. Noticing the entire room. And then also noticing the arms and the hands. Becoming aware of thoughts that might be occurring as the practice is ending. Things that we might be moving on to do next. And then also remembering the arms. Perhaps even looking at the hands. How often do we look at our hands? We're too busy using them. So yeah, over the next week, I really like to invite you, just as a practice, to get curious about how you're using your arms and your hands, and to see what it's like if you catch your mind spinning in the next thing that needs to be done or worrying about something that happened in the past. Just getting familiar with grounding yourself in your arms and your hands. And maybe noticing the thoughts, and also, for a moment, noticing the feeling in your hands, the movement of the wrists or the elbows. We often get pulled away by thought. So much else is happening in our experience. We're doing things all the time, right? But thoughts tend to overwhelm us at times. So, yeah, experiment with the arms and the hands this week. Use them as a grounding device. Mind is wandering, switch. Notice your arms. See what's happening. And, I don't know. See what happens. Anything that we can do to interrupt the automatic spin of our thought cycle frees us up out of that cycle that can often be negative. So using the arms and the hands can just be one opportunity to change the channel of the mind. And they're often doing something because so many of us are busy all the time. There's always something to notice. So, all right, be well, and we'll see you again next week. Take care. Bye.